our temporary council chambers here on Freight Street for tonight's Board of License Commissioner meeting and City Council meeting. The first thing on our agenda tonight is public input, but I've been informed there is nobody in person, nor is there anybody online, right? So we'll move right to the Board of License Commissioners. Clerk will call the roll. Here.
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 Item number one, I call for approval of the previous minutes from June 4th, 2025.
Moved by Council Russo, second by Council Wildenhain, that approval be given to the previous minutes of the June 4th, 2025 meeting as prepared by the clerk. Are there any amendments, deletions, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number two, consent agenda, and item number three, petition for licenses, starting with A, petition of Centerville Bank Stadium at Tidewater Landing for license to have a 4th of July celebration fireworks. Down to the second page. Last one is private detective renewal Fernandez, Nikki J, Information and Integrity Incorporated. My motion is approval.
Moved by Councilor Russo, second by Councilor Moreno. That approval be given to items 2 and 3 to consent agenda and petitions for license, starting with item A, a petition of Centerville Bank at Tidewater Landing for a license for a 4th of July celebration. Down through the bottom third of page 2, a private detective renewal for Nikki J. Fernandez. Any discussion on the motion to approve items 2 and 3? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 4 is advertised for public hearing. Tattoo transfer of location. Sacred Traditions Tattoo. Sacred Traditions Tattoo LLC, 200 Main Street, Suite 4, license number TAT-25-2. Transfer of location from 500 Armistice Boulevard. My motion is to convene this public hearing.
Been moved by Councilor Russo, second by Councilor Codier, that we convene a public hearing regarding a tattoo license transfer of location for Sacred Traditions Tattoo. Sacred Traditions Tattoo LLC, 200 Main Street, Suite 4. It will be license number TAT-25-2, and it will be a transfer of location from 500 Armistice Boulevard. All in favor of convening the public hearing?
Aye.
Opposed? I declare the public hearing open. Is the applicant for the tattoo license transfer of location here? If you could come forward, ma'am. Can everybody hear us out there? Is the audio okay?
Oh, yeah.
Hello. Good, thank you. If you could give your name and home address to the clerk, please.
Yes, it's Victoria Loring, 90 Mount Vernon Boulevard, Pawtucket. Loring, Loring. 90 Mount Vernon Boulevard, Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
Victoria Loring, 90 Mount Vernon. 90 Mount Vernon Boulevard, Pawtucket.
Okay, we're all set. Thank you, Miss Loring. This is a tattoo, just a transfer of location from Armistice. Oh, no. There's
That happens a lot to the president.
My bad.
Everybody walks away. So this is a transfer of your location from Armistice Boulevard to 500 Main Street, Suite 2, right?
200 Main Street, yes.
I'm sorry, 200 Main Street, Suite 4. Is that right downtown?
Yes.
Okay, that is in Councilor Codier's district. This is a public hearing. I'm going to have her ask a couple questions. We will open it up to anybody else who might want to have come down here because of the public hearing advertisement. I doubt there is anybody, and then we will move on from there, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to turn it over to Councilor Codier.
Thank you, Mr. President. How are you?
Great, how are you?
My only question will be, are you gonna stay, it's gonna be the same way, the same, you're gonna be using the same type of tattoos, the ink? The only reason that I'm asking is because I know that there is a different license for the other tattoos than the ones for the art tattoos and the makeup and insurgent tattoos.
Right, we're not doing cosmetic tattooing.
Okay, thank you. So it's going to be the same and you have everything in order?
Yes,
and
we've
you
been
already-
open for about
I know
6
we
years.
spoke over the phone. That was only my only question, if there were any changes on that. Other than that, if anybody else have a question, Mr. President, I have no.
So currently you're right across Marigna, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And you have been there about 5 or 6 years, right?
Yeah, going
You
on
just start
7
out
in
around the
December.
corner to begin with and then move over there, or we?
No, I was just there
Gotcha.
originally.
Uh, how's business?
Great.
Great, good for you,
Yeah.
good for you. Is there a reason why you're relocating or just,
Upsizing.
that's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah.
So, anybody else have any questions for Ms. Loring? Okay, but I'm sorry.
I just wanted to say, I mean, she's been my neighbor for about 5 years since we've been at Notes
Yeah.
and I want to wish you luck. I
Thank
know it's
you.
been growing, so best of luck with your business.
I appreciate it. And I'll definitely be back. I'm there all the time.
That's good.
How does she take her coffee, counselor?
I think, is it a maple?
No, I it's close.
That's a
I
good
do
try.
mocha.
You ready?
Sorry.
Yeah,
I
you should have said yes,
accept
ma'am. She's leaving. She gets the coat.
Well, she has a great team.
Can't even get her coffee right. That's why she is.
Okay. Ms. Loring, you can have a seat. I'm just gonna see if there's anybody else here. If there's nobody else here, we'll close the public hearing and we'll entertain a motion from the counselor, okay?
Okay, great.
All right,
Thank
have a
you.
seat. Is there anybody else here in person who's here to speak on this public hearing? And Dante, is there anybody online?
We have a couple new people online on this.
Okay.
If anybody is currently waiting online to speak on this public hearing, can you please press the raise hand button now? So I see no hands.
Okay, in that case, I will declare the public hearing closed and I will entertain a motion, Counselor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to make a motion to approve Ms. Lauren's request of moving Sacred Traditions Tattoo from Armistice Boulevard to 200 Main Street, Suite 4, Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
The move by Counselor Codere, second by Counselor Rubio, that approval be given to the petition for a transfer of location, Sacred Traditions Tattoos LLC, 200 Main Street, Suite 4, license number TAT-25-2. Again, a transfer of location from 500 Armistice Boulevard. Any discussion on the motion to approve? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You're all set, Miss Loring.
Now you are.
Now you can walk away.
Item number 5 is a communication from McLaughlin and Moran Incorporated to the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners objecting to the transfer of a Class A liquor license of G's Liquor, RJ's Liquors LLC, transfer to location from 400 Broadway to 274 Broadway in a total amount of $2,757.76. My motion is to file the
Second.
communication.
The move by Councilor Ruzo, second by Councilor Moran, that a communication from McLaughlin and Moran Incorporated to the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners objecting to the transfer of Class A liquor license G's Liquors, RJ Liquors LLC. Transfer of location from 400 Broadway to 274 Broadway in the total amount of $2,757.76. The motion is to file that communication. Any discussion on the motion to file? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 6, a communication from Kevin Martins, owner of 400 Broadway LLC, to Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners objecting to the transfer of Class A liquor license of G Liquors, RJ Liquors LLC, transfer of location from 400 Broadway to 274 Broadway in a total amount of $15,520. My motion is to file this communication.
Second.
Been moved by Council Ruzo, seconded by Council Moran, that a communication from Kevin Martins, owner of 400 Broadway LLC, to the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners objecting to the transfer of a Class A liquor license for G's Liquors, RJ's Liquors LLC, regarding a transfer of location from 400 Broadway to 274 Broadway in a total amount of $15,520. The motion is to file a communication. Is there any discussion on that motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President, before I take item number 7, I'd like to amend the agenda to introduce 2 different communications.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilor Arujo, second by Councilor Moran, that we amend the agenda for the purpose of introducing 2 correspondence. Is there any discussion on the motion to amend the agenda? In that case, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce 2 different correspondences. The first one is a correspondence from Ryan Grady to the city clerk, final rebuttal letter. And the second one is from RJ Grady to Iwana. And that one is regarding a lease they had signed. I'd like to file these communications.
Second.
Moved by Counselor Russo, seconded by Counselor Moran, that we file two communications. The first from an individual named RJ Grady regarding RJ Liquors LLC, a final rebuttal letter to the city clerk, as well as an email correspondence to the city clerk's office from the same individual, indicating regarding the lease that he had signed for 274 Broadway. Is there any discussion to filing those two communications? Any? In that case, all in favor of filing?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item number 7 is advertised for public hearing, Class A transfer of location, G's Liquors, RJ Liquors LLC, 274 Broadway, license number LQA 25-1, transfer of location from 400 Broadway. I'm making, the applicant withdrew, at the request of the applicant, wanted to withdraw, this transfer. So, I, have any motion on that?
Most of the postpone indefinitely,
No, it's
just it's withdrawn.
Withdrawn at the request of the applicant.
So no voting on that, right?
That's a motion, right? Withdraw. I mean. Or just a statement? Yeah, we just usually take it, but you can, if you want, if you.
So motion
Doing
to,
a motion, do a motion.
so I'll make a motion to, indefinitely postpone, right? Based on the withdrawal from the applicant.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, in that
That makes
case,
sense.
it's been moved by Councilor
Second.
Russo, second by Councilor Miranda. We postpone this item indefinitely at the request of the applicant who wishes to withdraw this request for a transfer. Is there any discussion on the motion to postpone indefinitely at the request of the applicant, the license holder? In that case, all in favor of postponing?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item number 8, as advertised for public hearing, Class B victular, expansion of premise to include outdoor seating, Tuga's Restaurant and Catering, S&C Associates LLC, 110 Middle Spring Avenue, license number LQB 24-22 ENT. Motion is to convene this public hearing.
The move by Councilor Russo, seconded by Councilor Stacoviac, that we convene a public hearing regarding a Class B victular expansion of premise to include outdoor seating at Tugas Restaurant and Catering, S&C Associates LLC, 110 Mineral Spring Avenue, license number LQB-24-22. I will declare the public hearing open. It is Nisi? Okay.
Need to.
Nonetheless, still seconded by Councilor Stacoviac. Are the applicants, or is the applicant from Tugas Catering here? Okay, same sort of thing with the tattoo one earlier. If you could give your name and license, your name and address to the clerk, please.
Anna Santos,
ANNA,
ANA.
ANA. That's why I ask. ANA, Santos, SANTOS,
Correct.
and your address, please?
24 Beecher Street.
Pawtucket?
Yes.
Okay, Miss Anna Santos, 24 Beecher Street, Pawtucket.
Hello, Ms. Santos, how are you?
Good, good.
There was a little confusion on which district this is in. It used to be in District 6 and apparently is now in District 4 after we redistricted about a year and a half ago. So I'm going to turn this one over again to Councilor Codier.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hi, Ms.
Hi.
Santos, how are you?
Good.
I know that we spoke over the phone, but
Yes, ma'am.
only so my colleagues can also hear you're planning on having 6 tables.
tables.
That's what you said before. And what time will be the hours?
From 4 to 9.
4 to 9?
Yes.
And as you mentioned, it's no music,
No
no,
music.
it will be just dining
Just dining.
and just for the people
Yes.
to eat outside in the summer. Everybody wants to be outside in the summer.
Correct.
I don't have any more questions, Mr. President. It's only 6 tables outside. And it's actually in the back of the restaurant. It's like a
It's
parking
in the
lot,
parking
right?
lot, yes.
It's in the back of the restaurant. It's not even on the sidewalk or anything like that. We had a conversation about it, but if anybody else would like to know more about it, feel free to ask more questions.
Councilor?
I know, Ms. Santos, that you had during the what was it called? Take It Outside?
Pandemic?
Yeah, that it was very successful for you.
Correct.
And I think you had the same kind of size, and
Yes.
it was successful at that point.
Yes, it
So
was.
I can understand why you would want to try that again. And Counselor Kadir is right, like it is the back of the parking lot and there's still lots of parking lot on the side. So yeah, that was my only comment.
Very delicious.
Counselor Rujo.
How long have you owned this
I'm
establishment?
on my 7th year.
Seventh year. Well, yeah, because I know this establishment to be a very good partner to the city. I've never had any issues. I've heard a lot of good things about it. So yeah, I'll definitely be supporting it.
you.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, again, like the last license hearing that you heard, I'm going to ask if there's anybody else out here. You can have a seat if you like, or you can stay right there. Anybody else here that's here to speak at this public hearing about this expansion of premise? Is there anybody online, Dante? Oh, if you'd like to come up, it's a public hearing. So if you could just give your name and address to the clerk, please.
Sure. My name is Emmett Costello, 125 Goff Ave, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. 125 Goff Avenue? Yes. Emmett Costello, 125 Goff Avenue, Pawtucket.
Mr. Costello.
Yes. I have a little things I wrote up for Anna. I just wanted to say a quick word of Anna's request. I know her personally, and I can tell you she puts her heart and soul in her restaurant. Letting her serve food outdoor would make the space more lively, inviting, especially for the community. She's thoughtful, responsible, and I'm confident, absolutely confident, she'll make sure it's done the way it should be and make Pawtucket look good. Thank you. And by the way, I moved here 10 years ago. I'm from Massachusetts, and I've never seen that neighborhood grow as good and positive as it is right now.
Good to hear.
Thank you.
For that.
Thank you, Mr. Costello. Anybody else here tonight? And anybody online?
If you are looking to speak in this public hearing, can you please press the raise hand button at this time? Online. And I see no hands raised.
Next, ma'am? You can't hear me? That's the first. I will speak a little bit louder. Is that better? Okay, I apologize. In that case, I'm going to declare the public hearing closed, and I will entertain a motion, Councilor Codier.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to make a motion to approve Ms. Santos' request of outdoor seating at Two Guest Restaurant and Catering at 110 Mineral Spring Avenue, Pawtucket.
Been moved by Councilor Codier, seconded by both Councilor Moreno and Councilor Stakoviak, that approval be given to the request for an expansion of premise to include outdoor seating at Tugas Restaurant and Catering, 110 Mineral Spring Avenue, license number LQB-24-22. Is there any discussion on the motion to approve the expansion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Before I take item number 9, I'd like to introduce, I'd like to amend the agenda to introduce a communication.
Been moved by Council Arujo, second by Council Moran, that we amend the agenda for the purpose of filing a communication. Is there any objection or any discussion on the motion to amend the agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And I'd like to make a motion to file a communication from Ron McCookie regarding the public hearing for Ember Hookah Lounge.
Been moved by Councilor Arujo, second by Councilor Moreno, that we file a communication from an individual named Ron McCookie regarding the Ember Hookah Lounge petition at 590 Newport Avenue. We're in discussion on filing that communication. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Item number 9, as advertised for a public hearing, Class B victual new, the Ember Hookah Lounge Incorporated, 590 Newport Avenue, license number LQB 25-4 ENT. Motion is to convene this public hearing.
Been moved by Councilor Arujo, second by Councilor Moreno, that we convene a public hearing regarding a Class B victual new request for the Ember Hookah Lounge, Ember Hookah Lounge, Inc., 590 Newport Avenue, license number LQB-25-4. Motion is to convene the public hearing. I declare the public hearing open. I know the applicant is here, or applicants. Sir, if you'd come forward. Kind of the same thing as the last couple. If you'd give the clerk your name and home address, please.
Faris Al-Tapshi, Fares-El hyphen Tabchi
What was that? EL what?
hyphen.
Yeah.
Tabchi,
T A
ABC, HI.
Gotcha. And
31
address?
Ledgewood Road,
What is it?
31 Ledgewood Road, Framingham, Mass.
Mr. Ferris L.
Tapshi,
Kapshi,
yes.
31 Ledgewood Road, Framingham, Massachusetts.
Yes, sir.
Mr. El Topshi, how are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
Good, thank you. You and I spoke briefly on the telephone. I've gotten a couple phone calls. So this is my district. That's why I'm asking you the questions. I got a couple phone calls from folks in the neighborhood. I actually happen to live on the street right behind there. So they all kind of know me and come a knocking. Okay. And from some other, business owners in the area. And we have it's a shared lot, right? A shared building.
Yep.
Is it one building or is there a
So
little?
it's a strip. I own the corner, one corner, and
Yeah.
the other guy owns everything else.
Right,
So
you
that,
own just
yeah,
the part of the building
correct.
that it was at one time a pizza shop.
And then a
And
smoke
then
shop, I
then it
believe.
was a convenience store that also sold
Yes,
some
correct.
paraphernalia.
That was my last tenant.
That was okay. So you've owned it for a while then.
Since
building.
last year, August of last year.
So, you and I spoke, you told me that you operate a couple other similar establishments in
In
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. So I owned a convenience store and I own a pizza place in Attleboro.
So you don't own a hookah lounge anymore
No,
though?
no,
Okay. And
this is
so
my first time.
your first foray into
Yes,
a
sir.
Class B, license
yep.
and, tell us what you'd like to do. I've got some concerns. I've got some concerns about a number of different things, including some of the things that have been raised here. So,
This is easy to fix.
sure.
It's a hookah lounge and we have a few beers, like the top sellers, like 3 or 4. No hard liquor, no nothing else, just tea, coffee, couple of beers, hookah, cold sandwiches, just simple stuff for people to go, have fun and that's it. It's just, I mean, there's a dispensary on every corner. This is, still clean, good. It's a decent place. We're gonna have a decent place here. We're
And-
gonna have to spend a lot of money to make it nice. I worked hard with the fire department. Whatever they asked me to do, I'm willing to do it after, this hearing.
Right.
And I don't cut corners. I've had 2 successful businesses before and I hope this is gonna be the third.
If the license were granted, what would be your hours of business and days of operation?
So mostly every day, we're gonna have like 1 day off in the middle of the week probably, but it's gonna be like 12 to 10, 12 noon to 10, 10:30 during weekdays.
Mhm.
And probably 12 to 11 or 12 on the weekends.
Okay. As I said, I have a couple concerns that were raised here by the property owner there, the property owner next door, and some folks who live behind. I know you've still got some things to do with the fire department, right?
Yep,
And originally, your thought was your menu would just be kind of finger food like chips, and salsa and stuff like that. But you understand that to get a Class B license, you have to have a full menu, right?
exactly. That's why we've added some cold cuts and smaller stuff, like simple stuff,
And does that cut it, Rick? Is
It's
the,
a sandwich menu minimum.
okay,
Mhm.
So it's not hors d'oeuvres, it's not frozen.
gotcha. But that satisfies the requirement for a Class B, number one.
Sandwiches, yeah.
Yes, okay. And the requirement for a smoking lounge, because
There are no requirements.
I mean, I mean the state requirements about
51%.
51% of
Oh, yeah.
revenue. Yeah.
It's more than 51%.
Yep. Okay, so the reason for that, the rationale for that is that the state doesn't allow smoking in Class B restaurants, right? And some people, in order to get past being able to let their patrons smoke inside, they call it a smoking lounge, but they're not really a smoking lounge. It's just a way for them to not make their patrons go outside.
Mhm.
It's a competitive disadvantage for other restaurants, number one, and number two, it's not a healthy thing for folks who don't want to be in a smoking establishment to be there. So the state has set a threshold of a minimum of 51% of your total sales
Yes, sir.
come from smoking. It could be tobacco, it could be non-tobacco products,
Mhm.
but they're all looped in. You don't think you'll have a problem satisfying
No,
that,
sir.
right?
No, sir.
So are there any other questions for the counselor?
Thank you. I only have one question about the ventilation or the structures that used for the.
Oh, yeah, we're
of that.
install, I'm working with the fire department. We're gonna install a smoke eater, heat detectors all over the place. We've been working with the fire department on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I saw
ahead.
you, counselor, first.
Okay. Hello, I just have a couple questions. What's the occupancy?
It's like 15 to 20 people.
Okay,
No
and
more
then
than that.
I also saw that you clicked yes for entertainment. Like what
Like probably a band, like a one-man show, like a Lebanese, like drums or like a guitar,
Okay.
simple stuff,
okay.
but nothing major.
Okay. I think my worry is that we've had other hookah lounges that have ventured into the club-esque
Oh, no.
view, and we're trying to stay away from
Oh,
that.
I'm trying to stay away from that.
Okay.
Trust me.
Counselor Rubio.
So you haven't run a hookah lounge before. Is there anyone on your team that's experienced to run a hookah lounge?
My business partner.
Okay. They're your business partner?
Yes.
In this
Yes.
business, your work, okay. And how would you address these concerns? I take it you've read through
To be
them.
honest, it's not major. Like the parking, we don't need that much parking. I don't know why the other guy is that worried about the parking. We have enough parking in front of my place, So, and the other main concern for this gentleman is we're gonna serve hard liquor. We're not gonna serve hard liquor. It's just another option for people, just the top sellers, Corona and Bud Light, and it's like 4 or 5 types of beer, and that's it. We have coffee, different types, Turkish coffee, regular coffee, different types of teas. That's our main thing. Hookah, tea, coffee. It's just an option. The alcohol is just an option.
Now, there is residential. There's a residential apartment there, right? Am I mistaken? Craig,
So if
right
you
to
look-
your left
If
of
you
them?
look, no, to your
Your
right
right
is
is
what
a-
used to be a residence, but now it's a law office. It was a
Okay.
residence, then it was a real estate office, now it's a law office. And then there's a resident on the corner directly on the corner of State Street. There are nothing but single-family houses directly behind the property. And that's a bit of my concern. It's nothing that's necessarily fatal, but I've got to talk to some more folks. I appreciate your honesty.
Absolutely.
I get a good feeling, to be perfectly honest with you. Sometimes we get folks who come down and say it's not going to be this, and then suddenly it's that. We're not going to serve this, and suddenly they're serving that. And
I don't want you to
So-
worry. I promise you, I have 2 successful businesses in Massachusetts. I don't cut corners. I follow the rules. I own a convenience store, and probably I'm the only one that doesn't sell anything from under the counter. I don't like it. I follow the rules, and I hope you give me that chance, to be honest.
So
I have a good feeling.
I do appreciate your honesty, and I do have a good feeling. Did you have a
I have a question.
counselor?
Yeah, how much money are you investing in business?
Like at least 50,000.
Okay.
So here's what I'd like to do. It's a public hearing. There could be somebody else here that wants to speak. What I'm inclined to do, and I can't make a motion, so I'll ask somebody to make a motion for me. I'm inclined to postpone this or continue this, not postpone, but continue this to our next meeting. So you and I can talk a little bit more. Maybe I can come by. It's only right around the corner from my house. I can talk to the fire marshal's office to make sure they're comfortable with
Oh, yeah.
with the proposal. and I can digest this just a little bit more. I think the concern here, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but when I spoke with the clerk's office, I think one of your first proposals or considerations was you might close off the driveway or the curb opening on your end of the lot.
No,
Okay, so I think that was the concern. And then the other individual thought that would be leading to people using all of his parking spots, all of his drive through. So if that's not the case, and maybe he's a little bit mistaken as
oh
well.
yeah, I've never, no, I'm not gonna close anything. No,
Okay, and how many parking spots are there
I mean, probably 7 or 8.
that you
Which-
control,
yes.
right?
Oh, yeah, but
Okay.
to be honest, we're not gonna use that much. It's just the number of tables doesn't match with the number of parking.
And how many tables is it?
It's like 6 or 7.
6 tables, and we need what, Rick, parking for
1 for 4.
1 for 4 patrons. So we've got 6 tables times 4 is 24. So
Six-
you need 6, you need 6
Six.
spots, give or take, right?
Easy.
Counselor?
I'm just looking at your parking diagram now. It says valet parking?
Oh, yeah, we're gonna have somebody that helps people take their car, they go inside, we park their car.
Is the lot
But,
that, is the
but
lot that
they're
big?
on, but they're on the
Yeah,
lot.
But I just wanna make sure that we do the parking, we take care of the parking, the customer should go inside.
Customer service thing. I think.
Right, like a
customer
like a
service.
customer service
That's
point,
just
okay.
fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not a satellite parking arrangement.
No,
They're
no.
they're
It's
gonna
in the
park.
same lot.
It's in.
I would pull in, I would give you my keys, and you would pull my car into
Into one of
into
my.
one of
parking
And
your
then we would
Yeah,
see it
because
from,
exactly.
okay. Mhm.
that is also a concern. Sometimes people talk about valet, and that's how they get around the 1 for 4 parking, and suddenly they're parking them
Oh, no, in front of the
on the
customer.
next street. So,
Yep.
so I just, the people in my district count on me to make sure that there's no, unfortunate intrusions,
You
right?
won't be sorry.
So, what I'm going to do is entertain a motion to continue it, not just yet, but until we will continue the public hearing, okay? Can I close the public hearing and continue the matter?
Sure.
Okay, so that's what I'll do. That way we won't have to worry about people coming back down next time around. What I will entertain is a motion to continue it to our next meeting. And you and I will get together. I'll take a look. We'll answer some of the questions that I've got or that have been posed to me by folks in the area, and we'll address the meet at the next meeting, which is the first meeting of July. I think it's July 9th.
July 9th, yep.
And everything goes according to plan. You might not even have to come back. Okay, but
I hope so.
we will at least continue this, hopefully, if I can get a motion, until July 9th.
All right.
It's not a no, it's just not a yes tonight. And I just need to do my due diligence,
I
okay?
understand. So, we're gonna meet before the next hearing.
Yes, you have, I gave you my cell phone. It's
Yep.
easy to get me that way.
I don't wanna bother you. if you tell me a day and a time, I'll be happy to,
Well, you know what? Call me tomorrow morning.
All right.
Call me tomorrow morning, not too early.
Yeah.
And, again, I can meet you right there. It's literally, it's probably,
Exactly.
it's probably,
Yeah.
800 yards from my house. So, if I can squeeze it, I will meet you tomorrow. If not, we'll do it Friday or Saturday.
No worries.
If that works for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you take a seat, see if there's anybody else who wants to weigh in on this. And then I will actually close the public hearing so we don't have to have folks come in. Actually, you know what? Just in case somebody wants to come down and talk about it, I'm just going to continue the public hearing until that date. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Should I go back?
Yes, have a seat,
All right.
please.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Is there anybody else here tonight that wishes to speak on this matter? And is there anybody online?
I have a raised hand.
Okay. Just ask them to give you their name and address, please.
Okay, hello, can you hear us online?
I can.
Can anybody else hear as well?
I could just barely hear her say I
Yeah,
can't.
maybe put the microphone down.
Can you put the microphone down to your speaker?
I can try.
Can you please give your name and address, please?
My name is Carrie Kuzik, and I own the salon at 582 Newport Avenue.
Could you spell your name, please?
Kerry Kuczek.
Kuczek.
And her home address?
And your home address, please?
81 Enfield Street, Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
Enfield, is that what you said?
Enfield. Yeah.
Correct.
We are having trouble hearing you, Kerry. Just give us a second to see if we can get a little bit better audio.
Okay.
Do we normally have a better setup?
Yeah.
I thought so.
I thought it would be connected to.
It has been in the past. I mean, maybe it's just not.
I can hear you all fine.
So Dante, is there a speaker on your laptop?
There is, I just can't really tell where it's coming from.
Can she
I mean,
say?
clearly there
Can you
is.
Have a state her name again, so this way you can hear where it's coming from.
Harry Kuzik.
It's
Mhm.
literally just.
Right over there. 'Cause if you put the microphone down right to where that speaker is.
Right,
that'd be-
Gary, can you try one more time?
This.
Harry Kuzik.
Okay, so we can hear you better. If you could just speak up as best you can, please.
Sure.
All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so my biggest concern is obviously the parking. In the letter that the landlord received, they claim to have 10 parking spaces. I have pictures of the parking lots. They are adjoining. There is no divider, and they have at best 5 parking spots. I am open late on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. I have a lot of elderly that come in during the day and during the afternoon that would have issues with parking farther away. I have about 4 or 5 in front of my salon, but with there being no divider, his customers are obviously going to park in my lot. The deliveries, there's no way for deliveries to be without blocking my lot. It doesn't seem a large enough property for this type of business. It's definitely going to impede on. Now, I have my salon, and then there's a braiding salon right next door. We are busy all weekend long, which I would assume a hookah lounge, the busiest hours would also be the weekend. So there's definitely a conflict.
Okay, we were able to hear everything you said, Kerry. As you heard me say, I'm going to meet with the applicant at the establishment. I know exactly where you are. I will poke my head in and talk to you as well. And we can kind of go from there.
Perfect.
As you heard me say, I'm going to continue the public hearing. So you would be able to come down or join remotely again if we can get better audio. And so you won't be precluded from speaking again if needed, okay?
Yes, I have the date written down, July 9th. And I assume that my landlord would also send me the copy of the letter in writing as well.
Which letter is that?
The next meeting.
Oh, he may send another letter, is what you're saying?
Right. He sent me the first letter, which is how I found out about what was.
Okay, all right. So when actually, if you'd like to, when I do poke my head in, you could give me a copy of that, and I'll get it to the clerk's office, and we'll make copies for the rest of.
This is the letter we sent to the landlord
Oh,
to tell them.
Yes. Yes. So my landlord lives in
oh,
Connecticut.
okay.
He does
So
not.
this
He does
was-
not come to the property very often
it
at
was
all.
given to the property owners.
Correct.
In a certain
Correct.
radius. He's the property owner. She's just a tenant. He forwarded that to her.
To all the tenants.
Gotcha. Is that what you're saying, Kerry?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Then I know what that letter says. Again, I assure you, I will poke my head in, and we'll discuss the matter, and I'll be discussing it with, Mr. El Tashibi. Tabshi.
Perfect.
Okay. Does that alleviate your concerns for the moment?
For the moment.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
And that's the only person online, correct?
Correct.
All right. In that case, I will entertain a motion to continue this public hearing to July 9th.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Counselor Rougeau and second by Counselor Codier and Counselor Wildenhain that we continue the public hearing till July 9th at the Board of License Commissioners meeting. All in favor of doing so?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I will see you, and then we'll see you back here maybe or maybe not on July 9th, okay? Thank you so much.
All right, so then item number 10,
Yep.
petition for license, victualling house, first class new, the Ember Hookah Lounge Incorporated, 590 Newport Avenue, license number LQB 25-4, ENT. A motion is to postpone to the next meeting, which is going to be held on July 9th.
Yes, so the motion is from Counselor Rougeau, second by Counselor Rubio, is that the victualling house first class new for the Ember Hookah Lounge Inc., 590 Newport Avenue, license number LQB-25-4, be continued as well until the first meeting of July. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. What that is that we have the liquor license and the victual license. So there was no sense in us taking up the second one until we meet again, okay? So I just didn't want you to walk out and not understand. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 11, as advertised for public hearing, Class B victular with outdoor seating transfer, Polo Royale, Ortiz Corporation Incorporated, 214 Columbus Avenue, license number LQB-25-3, transfer from Galito's Restaurant, VMTCS Group Incorporated. Motion is to convene this public hearing.
Moved by Counselor Rougeau. I'm having a tough time with you tonight. Counselor Rougeau, second by Counselor Moran, that we convene a public hearing for a Class B victual with outdoor seating transfer from Pollo Royale, Ortiz Corporation Inc., 214 Columbus Avenue, license number LQB-25-3. This will be a transfer from Galito Restaurant, VMTCS Group Inc. I will declare the public hearing open. Mr. Heeman, how are you?
Good, Mr. President. Thank you for having me here today.
Could you just actually give your name and business office
Yes.
address?
Attorney Nicholas Hemond, Hemond, Darrow Everett, 1 Turk's Head Place, Providence, Rhode Island. Excited to be here today with you here in Pawtucket on behalf of Pollo Royale. I'm here with the Ortiz family from El Salvador. And this is one of those business proposals that, is really, not to be too dramatic, but what our country is all about. The Ortiz family, this would be their 7th location. They moved to this country in the early 2000s. They worked in the restaurant business, worked in the kitchens, and within 3 years of doing that, they opened their first Pollo Royale location in Charlotte, North Carolina. They have since opened another location in Charlotte, and they have 4 in Massachusetts. This would be their first location in Rhode Island. So a true immigrant success story, and very exciting for them to get involved here in Rhode Island. It is a chicken restaurant. We've included a copy of the menu with our application. If you don't have it, I do have others. I can give that for you, over to you. But it's a chain restaurant. So this will be their 7th location. Very well established where they have operated before. Obviously, this location, Mr. President, I know you're familiar with. It's in your neighborhood. It has been a restaurant hospitality establishment for as long as it goes. So not really looking to change much of anything. Consistent with prior operation, as we understand it to be. I know there was some concern among your constituents about a drive-through. While they are a predominantly takeout-oriented restaurant, there will not be a drive-through at this location. It's not in the cards. If you look on their website, you'll see that only their first location had a drive-through. None of their other locations do. They're predominantly city-oriented, streetscape type of locations that, the door is right on the sidewalk, parking lot in the rear to the side. The only reason the first location has a drive-through is they took over a fast food space. They are not a fast food restaurant, but they are very focused. Truthfully, as you know, I represent a lot of restaurants in our state, but most restaurants nowadays are heavily focused on takeout business. So the majority of their business is takeout. While the BV would allow them to operate until 1 a.m., they're not looking to operate until 1. They're looking for probably most likely some kind of a closing time between 11 and 12. They like the flexibility to figure that out and obviously see how it goes. I've let them know that they're right in your neighborhood, so they intend to be very responsive to anything that goes on there, but not looking for the late night hours, certainly. And here we go. I found it while I was talking. But I think it's going to be a great addition to the city. I think it's going to be the first of several locations here in Rhode Island. They are here today. Rudy Ortez is here with his family. It was 3 brothers and an investor that started it. It's 3 brothers and the same investors that run it still today. I'll give this to the clerk.
Thank you.
But I love a good chicken restaurant. So personally, I'm excited about it.
Why?
There are some in my old neighborhood. There are none in my new neighborhood. So they do delivery. So you won't have to venture out if you're looking for something to be
Gotcha.
brought to your door. But I think this is pretty good. No entertainment, nothing scary, no hookah, none of those things.
Yeah.
Just a good old fashioned family restaurant and a good old fashioned American success story.
So you are right. It's been a restaurant for as long as I can remember. It was first a Friendly Tap, then it's been Galito under 2 different owners over the last 15, 17 years or so. The bar area would stay open till maybe 10:30. They might have had 1 or 2 people sitting there. So the neighborhood is accustomed to it being closed fairly early and quiet for the most part. I don't have any doubt that that will be the same with the Ortiz family running it. It does come presently with outdoor seating. Do they intend to utilize the outdoor seating?
I believe the application does include the request for the outdoor seating to be consistent with prior practice. Obviously, they'll be sensitive to that. Usually the cities and towns have regulations. You have to have it closed out by a certain time,
Right.
whatever the rule is in Pawtucket. I think most places it's 11. If it's earlier, that's fine. Whatever the rule is, they'll comply with it.
Okay, so I don't really have any concerns, especially that the biggest concern was that because it's on a corner and there are 2 driveways that people were concerned it was going to be, a raceway to the drive-through. I'd like to consider an 11 p.m. closing time, at least to start, and we can revisit it if need be, if that's okay with your client, if you want to talk to him about it. Matter of fact, would you like to bring your client up?
Sure. I want to come up.
Hello,
How
my
are you?
name is good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
My name is Paula Ortez. I'm an operations. Yes, I'm an operations officer at Pollo Royal. This is Rudy Ortez. He's one of the owners.
So what he's asking is if you want to start off at 11 o'clock for us.
Yes, currently, our current locations close at 10 p.m. So we wanted to take advantage of the alcohol license to extend our closing a little bit, but we don't expect to close.
Is
so
this
late.
the first location you would have a liquor license?
Yes, we are approved for a license in our Worcester location that's coming soon. But it would be our second, I guess. Yeah.
Well, you got, certainly you're a success story and you know how to run things. So I don't have any concerns. Here in Rhode Island, you have to have anybody who's serving alcohol. They have to be tip certified. They call it something else now, but it's essentially an alcohol serving training program, right? So I would say closing outside 10 o'clock so that you can wrap things up and it's not imposing on the folks. Really, it's just the people on the left of your parking lot, right? And you've got built-in clientele right across the street in the lofts. So it should work out well for you. But with an 11 o'clock closing time, at least to start, and we can talk things through, and the understanding that, the drive-through is not in the cards, that's perfectly fine. So I don't have any further questions. I think this is going to be a good location. I think I'll probably be there somewhat frequently. Does
Yeah.
anybody have any Council Rubio.
I just want to say I'm so excited because this is right around my neighborhood too. I'm very excited for Pollo Asado. I've been waiting for a location like this forever around chicken all day.
You'll love it.
I'm excited. Good luck.
Thank
if
you so
it's
much.
approved. Work.
Council
Hey,
Ruzo.
when you're taking over a real good location, we had Galito's Restaurant was there for numerous years and they did a real good job. But obviously you've been, I looked at your website real quick. You've been in business since 2006, well established. So looking forward to you to be a good community partner with the city. So thank you.
And it is a nice little bar area you have, cocktail lounge area you have. So, you know, make the most of it. And I think the neighborhood will welcome you. So, Counselor.
Yeah, welcome as well. Ironically, I just wanted to say that Galito stands for chicken, so it's kind of like they have a chicken sign. You guys are taking the chicken business, so that's good. And World Cup coming up, bar will be perfect. So.
I thought you were going to tell him to call me at 6 a.m.
Yes, and that's
Okay, I think we're all set, Mr. Heeman, the Ortiz family.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. The public hearing is still open. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak on this matter? Is there anybody online who wishes to speak?
If you are looking to speak on online on this public hearing, can you please press the raise hand button at this time? I see no hands raised.
Then I will declare the public hearing and entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I'll entertain a motion to approve the Class B victual with outdoor seating transfer to Polo Royale Ortiz Corporation Incorporated, 214 Columbus Avenue, license number LQB 25-3, transfer from Galito Restaurant, VMTCS Group Incorporated. Do I need to put it at 11 o'clock?
11 o'clock closing and
closing.
and 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
Wrap up on outside.
Wrap up on the outside. So that would be
That's agreeable.
stipulation.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilor Rujo, second by Councilor Codere, Councilor Gregor, and Councilor Moreno that approval be given to the proposal for a Class B victual license with outdoor seating transfer to Pollo Royale, Ortiz Corporation, 214 Columbus Avenue, license number LQB 25-23. This is a transfer from Galito Restaurant, VMTCS Group, Inc. And again, the motion is to approve with an 11 p.m. closing time and a 10 p.m. closing time for outdoor seating. Any discussion? And we're good, yes? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, item 12 too. or-
Yep.
Okay, so item number 12, petition for license, victualling house first class transfer, Polo Royale Ortiz Corporation Incorporated, 214 Columbus Avenue, license number LQB 25-3, transfer from Galito Restaurant, VMTCS Group Incorporated. Motion to approve.
Second.
The move by Councilor Rujo, second by Councilor Moreno and Councilor Stacoviak. Was that you? That approval be given to item 12, the petition for a victualling house first class transfer, Pollo Royale Ortiz Corporation, Inc., 214 Columbus Avenue, license number LQB-25-3, transfer from Galito Restaurant, the MTCS Group. The motion is to approve. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You're all set, folks. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. As advertised on item number 13, as advertised for a public hearing, Class B victual or expansion of premise to include outdoor seating, Classic Cuisine Investment LLC, 266 Grand Avenue, license number LQB 25-2, previously Esquina Colombiana Bar and Grill, La Esquina Colombiana Bar and Grill LLC, with the previous stipulations of item 1, a maximum of 4 tables outside with 2 tables on Grand Ave and the other 2 tables on Suffolk Avenue, 2 chairs per table. And number 2, outdoor service must end by 8 p.m. Motion is to convene this public hearing.
Second. It's been moved by Council Rujo, second by Council Wildenhain, that we convene a public hearing regarding a Class B victual expansion of premise to include outdoor seating. It's Classic Cuisine Investment LLC, 266 Grand Avenue, license number LQB-25-2. Previously, Esquina Colombiana Bar and Grill, La Esquina Colombiana Bar and Grill LLC. The 2 previous stipulations, a maximum of 4 tables outside with 2 tables on Grand Avenue and the other 2 on Suffolk Avenue, 2 chairs per table, and the outdoor service must end by 8 p.m. Again, this is a public hearing. I will declare the public hearing open, and it looks like our applicant is already beating us to the punch and come up to the podium. Could you please give your name and address to the clerk, please?
Schneider Malat, 266 Grand Ave,
Can you spell your name for me, please?
SCHNEIDA. Malat, MILATTE.
Okay, and your address?
266 Grand Ave, Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
Grant Ave. Miss Shanita Malat, 266 Grant Avenue, Pawtucket.
Schneider.
Yes.
Miss
Schneider.
How would
Schneider,
you?
welcome. I'm going to turn this, I know you know, Councilman Wildenhain.
How are you?
I'm
Good.
going to turn this public hearing, over to him. This is in his district and right around the corner.
Yes, thank you, Council President. Ms. Schneider, how are you? Very good.
Yeah.
We've already talked and had previous discussions about the tables being outside and being
Yeah.
close.
Yes.
I know with the hot weather coming in, I know you want to utilize some of the outside space because
Yeah.
you have a very small
Definitely.
space.
Yes.
So could you give the council members a brief view of what you want to do there and hours of operation, how many days a week and how many people you'll have employed?
For the outside table, I asked for it to be there since Screen already had it,
Mhm.
but I haven't planned yet if I'm gonna use it yet. Because most of my business is takeout. So I just wanted it there just in case if I'm having a little event
Mhm.
to put it, but it's not gonna be an every weekend thing or everyday thing.
And what's the type of food you serve?
I serve Caribbean Haitian food, so a lot of fried stuff, fish, salad. So basically.
Hours of operation?
As of right now, we are 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday, and we'll 11 a.m. to 12 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
On Sunday.
And after 12, we do takeout until 1 a.m.
Okay. You and I had that discussion, that, you know, that those hours work for me as long as you keep it in the business.
Yeah.
So what I really wanted to do, and I knew it was like 11 to 12. We were talking about the hours of operation 7 days a week.
Yes.
And then 11:45 would be last call. And also put it in there that any ambient music that you're playing inside goes off at 11:45. So
definitely.
that way there, at 12 o'clock, the door is basically locked for patrons to come in, but you'll still be doing DoorDash or takeout
Yes,
menu. So
Yes.
I don't have an issue with that. I haven't, you've been running it for a little bit and I haven't had any issues. So I do support it at this point. Like we said, I think the main thing is at 12 o'clock, the place will be locked up, but you'll be only serving meals, that'll go for
Okay.
another hour. And I don't, again, I could drive by, you're on the next block over from my house, so I drive by on my way home half the time.
Yes.
You're very quiet. It's a neighborhood setting. We've
Yes.
had that discussion that it's important to me that it remains that way.
Yeah.
Very quiet, so we don't have issues. And you've indicated too that you don't want to have any issues with your neighbors. And I've
No.
appreciated some of the issues that I have brought to your attention that you've already addressed them. We had a
Yes.
fence that was falling down. You already
Yes.
took care of it. And again, I think you'll be an asset to the area. So
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
welcome you aboard. So
Thank
that's
you.
all the questions I have, Councilor.
Excuse me, does anybody else have any questions for the applicant? Here, did you say Haitian food or
Yes,
Caribbean, just
Haitian.
Caribbean or?
Caribbean Haitian food. It's a little mix,
What's
but
the-
most likely Haitian food.
Gotcha. What's your best dish?
A red snapper, a fried red snapper.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's good too.
All right.
Okay, so you've seen how this is work. I'm gonna have you take a seat and we're going to see if there's anybody else here that wants to weigh in or anybody online, and then we'll address the situation, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you for coming down. Anybody else here that wants to speak on this matter? Anybody online, Dante?
If you're currently sitting, waiting online,
Wow. You lost your mic.
Rick, do you want to just ask?
If there's anyone online who wishes to speak at this time, please raise your hand. Anybody? No one, sir.
Okay, then I will declare the public hearing closed and I will entertain a motion. Counselor Wildenhain.
I'll make the motion that we approve the license, the BV license.
With any discussion about the other things you talked about, or are you comfortable that you've come to an agreement with the applicant?
I've come to an agreement with the applicant. We're gonna leave the, like she said, she had those stipulations from the previous owner,
Mhm.
would just like to extend that to that point. But she's indicated too that the outdoor service would end by 8 o'clock and, that would get pulled inside. So, and she said that might not be a function just to make a little more room for her to outside. So I wanted her to have that benefit. So I'll leave those two on there and, then I think, is it for the vigiling that we can turn around and establish the hours, or you want to establish? it
No,
here?
it would be that one.
This one? Okay, yeah. Then let me turn around and put out the hours of operation will be from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. Not 1 hour, it'll be 12 a.m. at
11
night.
a.m. to midnight?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 11:45 will be last call, and the music and the ambient music inside will stop, along with the service of patrons. And then from 12 to 1, it'll be takeout service only.
So the motion by Counselor Wildenhain, second by Counselor Stakoviak, is to approve the Class B victular transfer, expansion of premise to include outdoor seating at Classic Cuisine, 266 Grand Avenue. With the previous stipulations, one, a maximum of 4 tables outside with 2 tables on Grand Avenue and the other 2 tables on Suffolk Avenue, 2 chairs per table, and the outdoor service must end by 8 o'clock with the additional operational hours of 11 a.m. to midnight, with 11:45 being last call and music ending at 11. Was that it, Counselor?
11:45, the last call stops.
Okay, so last call and music end at 11:45.
Correct.
And 12 midnight to 1 a.m. takeout only.
Correct.
I got it correct, yes?
Yes.
Okay, any discussion on that motion by Counselor Wildenhain? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Item number 14, petition for license victual and house first class new Classic Cuisine Investment LLC, 266 Grand Avenue. License number LQB 25-2, previously Esquinas Colombiana Bar and Grill, La Esquina Colombiana Bar and Grill LLC, with the previous stipulations of maximum of 4 tables outside with 2 tables on Grand Avenue and the other 2 tables on Suffolk Avenue, 2 chairs per table. Outdoor service must end by 8 p.m. Do I need to add the other stipulations that Council Lillian had?
I believe it suffices. It's already in the
And-
license. So
yeah,
we
and
don't
refer
need
to the-
Be
yeah.
repetitive.
Okay, no, yeah, okay, motion to approve.
Second.
The move by Counselor Ruzza, second by Counselor Wildenhain, that approval be given to a victualling house first class new Classic Cuisine 266 Grand Avenue, license number LQB-25-2, previously Esquina Colombiana Bar and Grill, La Esquina Colombiana Bar and Grill LLC, with the 2 previous stipulations of a maximum of 4 tables with 2 tables on Grand Avenue and 2 tables on Suffolk Avenue, 2 chairs per table, and the second one being outdoor service must end by 8 p.m. Is there any discussion on the motion to approve with the previous stipulations? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. You're all set, ma'am.
Item number 15, the following petition for license was postponed at the meeting held on June 5th, 2025, and is again taken up. Entertainment in Class F1, full privilege, petition of Aquiles Pires Mendez to conduct an I Love Brava Sunset Festival to sell food and alcoholic beverages at Festival Pier, 21 Tim Healy Way on Saturday, July 12th, 2025, from 4 p.m. until 10 p.m. with a rain date of July 13th, 2025, from 4 p.m. until 9 p.m. License number is EVT-25-31. Motion is to take this license up again.
The move by Council Ruzza, second by Council Codier, that the following petition for license that was postponed on a meeting held on June 25th be taken up again. It's an entertainment in Class F1 full privilege, a petition of Aquiles Perez Mendez to conduct a I Love Brava Sunset Festival to sell food and alcoholic beverages at Festival Pier, 21 Tim Healy Way, excuse me, on Saturday, July 12th, 2025, from 4 p.m. until 10 p.m. with a rain date of the following day, July 11th, from 4 p.m. until 9 p.m. It would be license number EVT-25-31. I will take again up the matter and turn it over to Councilor Codier. Is the applicant here? Will the applicants come forward, gentlemen? Rick, you probably already have their names from last time, right?
Yep.
So gentlemen, we're all said. I know we continue this to allow you to have some conversations with Councilor Codere. My understanding is that's transpired, right? So
Yes.
if you, I can turn it over to you, Councilor, or you can have them say a few words. Entirely up to you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Like you said, the reason why we postponed the meeting for today was because we were not really sure if it was a real festival or not. And I really wanted to kind of be clear about that. And after having the conversation with you and you understanding my concerns in my district, we came more clear about it. And we talked about shutting the music down at 8 and having the people out by 9. And also I have here that you have the food, the beverage, and I think you mentioned t-shirts, something like that, that you also will be
T-shirts.
the vendors. Okay, okay, that's what I really wanted to be clear. Before I continue, Mr. President, I would like to know if anybody else has any questions.
Does anybody have any questions for the applicants? Counselor?
So you gentlemen understand that it's 8 o'clock now, for the music to stop at 9 o'clock. You're getting everybody out. You guys worked that out with the counselor?
We worked out at 8:30, as you mentioned.
8:30?
On the music.
I just wanted to be sure, because those are the things. that
Light
you-
on if it's not on. We
It's
couldn't
on,
quite
it's
hear
on.
you.
The green light on?
Okay. If you could just say what you just said into the microphone, please.
Oh, yeah, we worked out as 8:30 to shut down the music and have people out by 9.
Okay. 8:30 music, 9 o'clock. Is that
It might be,
how you recall it, Counselor? Or,
yes.
and on, and
Yes,
are you,
it's 8:30, that's
you
fine.
not,
Yeah.
no longer, yeah,
Mhm,
I mean,
mhm.
you're still comfortable with that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what you guys discussed, and that's what she still understands, and she's comfortable with that as well.
Yes.
If I recall correctly, you held this a few times, but on Roosevelt Avenue, right? But that site wasn't available this year?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Construction.
Okay, so this is not a public hearing. This is a request, a petition for a license, so I don't have to close the public hearing. Is there anybody else here that wants to speak on this? It's not precluded. Okay, in that case, then, Counselor, I will defer to you to make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to make a motion to approve Isle of Brava request of the Isle of Brava Sunset Festival to sell food and alcoholic beverage on Festival Pier on Sunday, July 12th from 4 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Music stops about 8:30 p.m. and leaving by 9 p.m. And I would like also to say the next day by 12 p.m. I will be going to the park to make sure that everything is cleaned.
Yes.
Second. Gotta get my bearings down. Okay, move by Counselor Codier, second by Counselor Gregor. That approval be given to the petition to conduct an I Love Brava Festival to sell food and alcoholic beverages at Festival Pier, 21 Tim Healy Way, on Saturday, July 12, 2025, from 4 p.m. until 9 p.m., with the music stopping at 8:30, and a rain date the following day with the same hours of 4 p.m. until 9 p.m., with the music stopping at 8:30 if that's needed. Be licensed number EVT-25-31. Is there any discussion on that motion by Counselor Codier? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You're all set, gentlemen.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 16 is a communication from Captain Dino Giorgio, Pawtucket Police Department to Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners. Report from Aloha Restaurant Lounge at 904 Main Street. Motion is to file the communication.
Moved by Counselor Ruja, second by Counselor Gregor, that a communication from Captain Dino Giorgio, Pawtucket Police Department, to the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners regarding a report for Aloha Restaurant Lounge at 904 Main Street. The motion is to file the communication. Is there any discussion? Counselor?
So I think there must have been some sort of miscommunication to what exactly I had requested and the board had requested regarding to reports, calls and so forth. So, I read the captain's report, and according to this,
Should we just file it and then talk about the communication on the next one because the motion was to file?
Yeah, so can we just file a communication first, and then you can talk
Then we
about
can
it,
talk
okay?
about it once
So
it's
it's been moved by Counselor Rivers, second by Counselor, good catch, Counselor Gregor, that we file a communication. Any discussion on filing a communication? All in favor? Aye. Now on the communication itself, Counselor, go ahead.
okay, so this is the email from Captain Giorgio. He says here that he conducted a check of Aloha Restaurant and Lounge at 904 Main Street and did not find any reports of any violations or police calls for service to that location. Also, it says here, I was informed of then possibly having a hookah lounge inside. During our checks of the location during those events, we only observed smoking outside, no smoking of any kind inside. If you need anything else, let me know. So I think therein lies the miscommunications, because I was looking for any and all complaints, police responses, or calls to that location in the aggregate from essentially the beginning of the year when this establishment is open. In large part because I was provided with at least 6 different incidents or calls and responses to that address, for which on most of them I did not have the police narrative related to those calls. And I was hoping Captain Giorgio would provide those. I have a better idea, but they all involved police responses for large crowds, controlling crowd, traffic issues related to those. One of them even resulted in 2 arrests. So, and that happened during the timeline that was communicated by the clerk, because I think the captain was under the impression we're just looking for those 2 dates where they held events, which was the 25th of, no, 25th, 26th of April and May 24th. But actually it was supposed to be more in the aggregate. So I'm not sure what happened there. I did speak to Captain Giorgio. He's going to look into those to see whether there's any other reports he could come up with. But based on that, I'm not, I consider this to be an incomplete report, and I have serious concerns about these various responses by the police to the site.
So are you saying there was a miscommunication on what we wanted for a report, and that there would definitely, during the time frame you were looking for, there are definitely some
There's at least
things to
6
be,
that I know of.
okay, and that what we got was
That there was none.
but they mistakenly looked at just the 2 dates that they've had previous events. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And you were looking for something that covered a wider range of dates, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I was getting it.
So do you want me to go on to 17 now and we can discuss further?
Yeah, are you done with that communication with that item 16, Counselor?
Well, let me see if I'm reading Rick's communication correctly. It's beginning in April 2025, particularly during the outside events that were authorized on April 26th. Okay, so there were one incident did take place in April 6th. I just wanted to point that out. So.
Okay, so item number 17, petition for license.
Give me 1 second, Counselor. Okay, so it says particularly during the outside. It doesn't say only, right? And you were looking for a more.
In the aggregate, because the concerns have been voiced. So.
Gotcha. Okay, so in that case, we are done with the item 16. We are now on to item 17.
So item number 17 is a petition for license, entertainment and expansion of premise 1 day, petition of Aloha Restaurant Lounge for license to have I Love Sao Vicente event for a 1 day expansion of their Class BV liquor license and to have food, serve alcoholic beverages, and to have a DJ at 902 Main Street outdoors on Saturday, July 5th, 2025, from 3 p.m. until 9 p.m. License number EBT-25-39. My motion is to take up this license.
Moved by Council Ruzo, second by Council Gregor, that we take up a petition for an entertainment and expansion of premise for one day. The petition of Aloha Restaurant for a license to have an I Love Sal Vicente event for a one-day expansion of the Class BV liquor license, to have food, serve alcohol, beverages, and have a DJ at 902 Main Street outdoors on Saturday, July 5th, 2025, from 3 p.m. until 9 p.m. will be license number EVT-25-39. The motion is to take up the petition. I will turn it over to Councilor Gregor.
Is the petitioner here?
Yes, I believe so. Mr. Lopez, can you come forward, please?
Good to see him.
Good night.
How you doing, Mr. Lopez?
Again, we have his from the last time too, so.
So Mr. Lopez, when I spoke to you the last time, I did tell you that I was in possession of several reports regarding calls at the establishment, and I was waiting for some narratives. Unfortunately, there was some sort of miscommunication. I didn't get it. So if you are relying on on Captain Giorgio's report saying that there was none, I don't accept that, because that's not the case. Okay, so like I said, it's based on a miscommunication. In any event, as like I stated the last time, you applied for a restaurant license, and you've been, I think, from what I've seen here, operating the premise more as a nightclub, because that's the impression a lot of the residents in that area refer to your restaurant. Pawtucket doesn't allow for licenses for nightclubs. Your restaurant, unfortunately, at only 2,140 square foot, isn't big enough to host the type of events that you're looking to do. I understand that you like to host events, and probably consider yourself a promoter, which is very nice. I think it's good for you to do that. However, your establishment and the location where it's at, which is heavily residential, is not the appropriate place, especially for the amount of people you're expecting. Okay, so you have two event spaces right down the street from where your business is. You could always see if you can rent those, where it would be more appropriate for you to do these kinds of events. But I'm not going to recommend approval based on the number of incidents and calls that's happened there, and I'm not going to impose that upon my community. Okay, so even at 200 people you're saying you expect, and it's never quite what you say, because based on the past reports, at one point you said 60 in one of the events, and you had a couple of hundred people there. Now you say 200. My guess is on July 5th, it's going to be more than that.
But for the July 5th, I changed the location because I tried to reach you so many times. You never answered my phone. I don't know why. But
I don't mean to interrupt you, Mr. Lopes, but I don't think I gave you the impression that either myself or this board didn't have concerns regarding holding events at Aloha. No.
okay, I changed the event for the July 5. I changed the location already. I'm here just to ask if I can use the patio to put the music outside, because it's a celebration Cape Verdean days. But the large events, I moved to Seekonk already. But I tried to use just the patio afternoon for putting music. If people can go over there, some people don't go to the water party I'm gonna do in Seekonk, but I just tried to use the patio for that day, put the music outside just for the patio.
So are you amending your petition? I don't understand what you're saying. You're proposing to amend your petition then?
Yes.
To what exactly?
Like for people's coming, just for putting the music outside on my patio, because I don't have like a 200 people, because I moved the party to the other seat already.
Okay, so you're not gonna have a DJ then?
No,
Okay.
just the music play on the patio.
Just music, and this is gonna be what hours that you're doing this?
3 to 9, because the other party is gonna happen on the same time to another location.
Okay, and it's gonna be no DJs?
No, just the speaker.
And how many people are you expecting?
Just for the whole people, maybe people's gonna celebrate the Independence Day from Cape Verde.
I'm sorry?
Just for the whole people, maybe.
What
I
whole
don't think so. I'm gonna have a people over there that day, because everyone's going to another party.
No, I need a number.
maybe 40, 30. Afternoon, just for put a speaker outside. I'm gonna put it just for my capacity inside and outside.
Oh, if I was to recommend this, it'd be for a very specific amount of people, not to exceed 40.
Yeah,
And no DJs,
no, just the speakers.
because I'm not even sure that that's a good time for you to hold this event. It's gonna be very chaotic on the 5th with events going on all over the place, but if you're gonna minimize it to a maximum of 40 people, no DJs,
Yeah.
no entertainment.
No, just the speakers outside.
Speak outside at what level?
Just one speaker,
Yeah, but what
the
level?
small one.
Uh,
A levels maybe 45.
Counselor, if I could just ask a couple, just ambient sound.
Yes, just the ambience.
And if you're hosting another event in another state, why do you need an expansion of premise for the folks on Main Street?
Because on that date is a celebration Kevin date. That's why some peoples don't go to my party over there. If I put a like sound, ambient sound outside, maybe they invite the peoples, the Mohol peoples to go and they're there and see it. And
And where will you be during those hours? Will you be in Seekonk?
yes, but I have my team and the employers gonna be there. Because we
You
have
your
to
team
reopen.
That will be at your regular Aloha restaurant.
Yes,
And you're confident that they can control that event.
yes, because the ladies working over there, they can take care of the place.
Okay, thank you. I didn't
Because
mean to
this is a
interrupt.
small thing.
I think we were kind of talking past each other there, so.
And whoever you're gonna have serving alcohol is gonna be tip certified, correct?
Yes, they have
Okay.
all the,
All right, and Mr. Lopes, you understand that I have serious reservation even with the diminished amount of folks and petition that you're applying for. However, I'm just gonna let you know if any incident or anything at all outside of what you just stated here and agreed to happens, I wouldn't bother coming back here and asking for any type of these type of events again,
yeah,
okay?
because I'm surprised because I talked to Captain Dino last time on when they are on a service to do the police detail in Picos. He told me they never have a problem with Aloha. Because the last time they arrest two people, the people go arrest on Randall Street. Randall Street is like 2 blocks away from Aloha.
Well,
I'm surprised, that's why.
Yeah, Mr. Lopes,
They
I'm
told me
not here
personal.
okay, if I may, okay, I've already spoken to you, I'm not here misrepresenting, I have the reports here with
Yes,
every single call directs your restaurant, okay? That's whether the people were outside your restaurant, they were all derived from your restaurant. So, okay, you're the one that holds events, you're the ones that has the nightclub.
it's not an Aloha nightclub. It's
Okay,
a,
well, that's what
restaurant.
that's what the residents think. Okay?
Counselor, if I may, Counselor Rubio, did you raise your hand?
If I may, I just wanted to confirm, no stage, correct?
No,
Okay, that's all.
Okay, back, Counselor Wildenhain.
Yeah, you've indicated that you have an outside patio in front of
Yes.
in front of your establishment. And that's why it's the extension of premises. You just want to use your outside patio.
yes.
Okay.
Counselor Gregor, back to you.
Okay, okay, so Mr. Hobbs, recommend approval providing again, there's no stage, there's no DJ, there's no entertainment,
No.
it's ambient music only.
Yep.
Okay, and you will not have any capacity exceeding 40 people maximum.
Okay. But outside and inside?
Well, whatever your inside capacity is, that's fine. I'm talking mainly on the outside.
Okay.
So additional capacity outside, no, not to exceed 40.
Yes, maximum. Yeah.
Yes. Just asking, how do we propose to, are you comfortable simply stating not to exceed, or are you concerned about,
Well, I would like the police to maybe stop by, just check on the event sometime. I know they're gonna be busy, but
okay, that makes sense. I just want to make sure you thought about that.
so and just so you know,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
well,
they
police is-
like,
at least swing by and see how things are going. Okay?
Okay.
And just submit a report to us regarding that.
Do we need a motion to, or have him in that motion, send out a communication to police chief asking him to stop by?
Yeah, we can do that within the motion.
Within the motion, that's one. Right.
So I got it right. The motion will be to approve an amended application for an expansion of premise for no more than 40 people outside. Ambient music only, no stage, no other entertainment. No DJ. And within that motion, that if it's approved, the police department will be notified to swing by during what were the hours?
3 to 9.
During the course of 3 to 9 to check on attendance.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the motion. I don't want to have to reiterate it. Rick, you have that down?
Yes.
Okay, is there?
I'll second it.
And it's been seconded by Councilor Ruggio. Is there any?
I'm sorry, just if the police could submit a report to us for how it went, the check.
Okay. So within that, the police would give us a report afterward on what happened. Okay, so that's the motion by Councilor Gregor, second by Councilor Ruggio. Is any further discussion about that? In that case, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Lopes.
Okay, Mr. Lopez, I would just encourage you to make sure that the counselor is satisfied.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Have a good night.
No further business coming before the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners. I make a motion to adjourn and reconvene Pawtucket City Council.
Moved by Councilor Russo, second by Councilor Rubio, that we adjourn as the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners and reconvene as the Pawtucket City Council. Before we do, I ask everybody stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, started by Councilor Gregor.
I pledge allegiance to the flag that stands around, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we go, Mike, I see a few folks sitting in the back. Were you here for the Board of License Commissioner things? Is that why you're here, or are you here for the city council meeting? Oh, you were all set. You could have left long ago. It was part of our
Consent agenda.
consent agenda.
It came in right after the consent agenda, so you missed that.
Okay, so
You're good.
at least we entertained you for a little bit. You're welcome. Just a little bit louder.
Yeah, that was probably part of the consent too. Hold
Let
on
me
one
see.
second.
Let's look at that.
Yes, that was part of the consent agenda. 30 East Avenue.
Vibrant
Okay,
nutrition.
you are also all set. Sorry that we kept you longer. All right,
you.
have a nice night.
I'm sure you learned a lot.
Okay, now Councilor Ruggio. Oh, I'm sorry.
You gotta, yeah, sorry.
I've called the Pawtucket City Council to order. Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer,
Here.
Council Ruggio,
Yeah.
Council Codere,
Here.
Council Gregor,
Here.
Council Moran,
Here.
Council Moreno, Council Rubio.
Ladies room.
She's here. Council
She's here.
Koviak,
Here.
Council Wildenhain.
Here.
8 in attendance and one
What in?
on the way.
8.5.
Wow.
Okay, Mr. President, I call for approval of item number 1, previous minutes of May 12th, 2025 of the budget workshop session FY 2026, as well as June 4th, 2025 of the Committee of Claims and Pending Suits, Joint Committee on Claims and Pending Suits, Committee of the Whole, and the City Council.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Ruggio that approval be given to the minutes of the May 12th, 2025 budget workshop session for fiscal 26, as well as the June 4th, 2025 minutes for the Committee on Claims and Pending Suits. the Joint Committee on Claims and Pending Suits and Committee of the Whole, and the City Council as prepared by the clerk. Are there any concerns, amendments, deletions, additions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 2, I call for approval of the consent agenda and correspondence.
Been moved by Council Ruzo, seconded by Councilor Moreno, that we give approval to item 2, the consent agenda and correspondence. Are there any items the members would like to discuss? Councilor Wildenhain.
D&D.
Counselor? E, right? E and C. Anybody on this side? In that case, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item C, Councilor Wildenhain and Councilor Gregor. Councilor Wildenhain?
I'll take C and D together, Council
Okay.
President. Thank you very much. These are both communications from Jill Olson Crowley. She's the clerk for the Pawtucket School Department, and she sent in these bi-monthly reports, construction reports, to our clerk. I just want to say I appreciate those reports. They turn around and tell us what's been spent to date, what's left. I told her last night when I was at the school committee meeting that I really did appreciate the format she put it in. It was informative, and it was appreciated, so that there's something that we actually know what's going on the school side, because they put it in paper and put it in writing and can clearly, demonstrate to us what's been spent on these projects as far as up to date wise, and going forward, I look forward to these being in the same type of format.
Thank you, Councilor. On that same vein, Councilor Gregor, item C.
Item C, I just wanted to say that I'm very happy to see Baldwin coming along, and so it'd be nice to see that for the community.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
They're doing a great job over there.
So Councilor Wildenhain and I attended a rather long city council, school committee meeting last night. And there was a presentation with slides of Baldwin, and it's coming along, and it will, according to what we heard last night, it will be ready for operation for the new school year.
It's fantastic. Wow.
Beautiful. Councilor?
I just said that's great.
That leaves us with item E, Councilor Gregor.
So item E is a communication from Jordan Colleague Blackstone Distribution Center LLC to the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council, 1 Moshasek Street, first quarter 2025 construction update. I know this was continued a couple of times due to the budget and so forth. However, I just first want to say,
I'm blushing.
bless you.
Hey.
The first quarter report for 2025 is actually dated April 8, 2024. This is just, and it says absolutely nothing other than the same thing that's been provided ongoing for the last couple of years. My concern and out of my community has been that this company promised to improve the neighborhood from blight. The microfiber building, as it stood, though vacant, did not look anything like it did the second this company got a hold of it and purchased it back in 2021 going to 22. Every time they've done anything, it's been because it's been requested or they've been put to the task. Starting when they first demolished all the windows in the property and gutted it out, leaving deep holes, causing safety for the community and children falling over 20 feet down on that side where Main Street was. The boarding that they did was cursory at best because they kept coming out. We had to keep calling to have them fix it. So every time they've done anything, it's been like that. And subsequent to this council approving the sale of a half of Morley Field, they initiated the excavation of the property and the demolishing of the buildings. Throughout the process, they fail to mitigate properly the heavily hazardous material and contaminants that are in that site, including 6 underground hazardous substance storage tanks, the presence of arsenic, TPH, and PHS detected in the soil, which they were supposed to take out and store outside of the premises. And as I come to find out, they didn't do that. In addition to that, they were in violation around Department of Environmental Management hazardous site controls. The entire perimeter had absolutely no mitigating stilt socks or anything that would prevent erosion and contaminate water, with all the heavy rain and the site being on a downhill slope from going to the Moshastic River, going to the sewer system, polluting our residents. The heavily contaminated soil, particles, bricks, and everything else that's been sitting there still would remain uncovered for a couple of years. And when they did cover some of it, it was, again, haphazardly, cursorily done. And if you go there now, they're still uncovered. So part of my concern here is that for 3 years almost, my community and the children of my community have had their park closed, all so that this company was supposed to fix blight, but created it, has been exposing our community, and have been deliberately misrepresenting this council with every single one of their quarterly reports to date. It's been brought to my attention that they had, up until probably the last couple of weeks, several mechanic liens amounting to hundreds of thousands of dollars that they owe their construction folks, and which is part of the reason why a lot of the debris and all that contaminant was not removed there, because they weren't paying them. They've been in violation of city ordinances and have not paid them until just the last couple of weeks. So with that said, it seems to me this city, if we're looking for investors to come in and actually do something good that benefits the community and actually is in the interest of the community, then they should be responsible. They should be looking out for the interests, the health and welfare of our children and our community, doesn't matter where they are. And they have failed to do that repeatedly, consistently, lying to and misrepresenting the true financial state. It is also my understanding that they've recently obtained some sort of loan, and at this point, I'm not really sure who owns the property. However, my concern lies with the fact that this council approved a 20-year tax stabilization agreement for the development, which is not only 20 years, but transferable. So I'm not sure how a company such as this, if we're trying to promote good businesses to come here and develop, could be rewarded after 3 years of doing what they did to this community with a 20-year tax stabilization agreement that's transferable, and I'm not even addressing the fact there are several infrastructure agreements that were also put into the program. It's going to be paid for by taxpayers, including the curb cut on Main Street, the sewer, and various other things which I don't have here with me. So I'm not sure why they should be rewarded for doing what they did. So I'm proposing that we rescind the 20-year stabilization agreement, and I'd like to ask the clerk if they would, if Rick, if you could draft a resolution, because I'd like to put it to a vote. Rescinding the 20 years tax stabilization agreement. I don't believe they deserve it. I think it's not good for the, especially in a time like this where we're talking about financial strain, that the taxpayers should be subsidizing construction of a private interest development. That's done
So,
for 3 years.
Councilor, we don't address the clerk, but are you making a motion for a resolution?
Rescinding the 20-year
Rescinding.
tax stabilization agreement.
That is a motion, yes?
Yes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved by Councilor Gregor, seconded by Councilor Rubio, that we propose would it be a resolution? Propose a resolution rescinding the tax stabilization agreement for JK Equities regarding the One Moshastic property. Was that stated correctly?
It is. Yes, it was. Thank you.
And you're good with what I said there, Counselor, as a seconder?
Is this possible to do? I guess is my question. I don't know what the.
I don't know, to be perfectly honest, with you, whether it is or not. I don't believe through a resolution.
Is
Well, hang on just one second, Counselor. Could I suggest something? Just put a pin in that for a second and suggest something. Okay, so I was just informed today that their latest quarterly, we kind of postponed this a couple of different times. The latest, the most recent quarterly update has arrived at the clerk's office today. It was going to be put on the next agenda, which is the 9th. That would have been put on the agenda next Thursday, the 3rd. What I would propose is this. You just tell me if you're okay with that. If you are not, we'll go forward with the other proposition. But I'll have the clerk send it out to everybody tomorrow, so we don't have to wait till next Thursday or to get it. So you'll have plenty of time to digest it before the 9th. Our second meeting of July is always a noontime meeting. Would you be in favor of calling them in for an update on the first meeting of August about the issues? I'm just suggesting, I'm not blowing up your resolution suggestion. I'm just, because I don't know that we can rescind an action of the council with a mere resolution. They're not binding. So, I'll let that linger for a moment, and then I'll go to Counselor Arujo.
Yeah, so when I was reading this, well, first of all, I don't know about the legalities of it as well, of doing it through a resolution. It was something that was done through the Finance Committee and then brought forward to the council. But, they did say within 30 to 45 days, they thought they would close on their loan, and unless there was something that went awry. So as you were speaking, Councilor Gregor, my thought was maybe we send a letter and say, okay, where are you with that? Because it's past 45 days. It's the past 60 days since we got this update, and they said that they would be having a closing. But now, in light of what you're saying, President Mercer, if they bring forward their latest update, that should be in there, because my concern was 30 to 45 days they were going to be closing unless there was any kind of issue, and they're past the 60 days. So when you were speaking, my thought was maybe we send them a letter and ask them where they are with that, because they're already past that 45 days. But if we're going to get a report now,
I have not seen it.
Right, sure.
I heard from the clerk's office today that it arrived today.
Right.
So my intention was to put it on the agenda for next week. My only reason for suggesting that, next week is 4th of July, the 9th is not long after the 4th of July, but if a month and a half out, we had made a motion or we had an agreement that we were going to ask them to come in by the first meeting of August, that would certainly give them more than enough time to make plans to be here in person. That was my only reason for suggesting. I was going to suggest it anyway, whether you move forward with your motion for a resolution. I'll come back to you in 1 second, Counselor. Did you still want to speak, Mr. Counselor?
Mr. Council, yeah.
Mr. Councilman?
Sure, I did.
It's the shirt.
I respect Counselor Gregor's right to ask the question and stuff too, but I think also, I think it's important for us to seek the legal advice to see whether or not we can actually do this before we go off it. So I appreciate the council president making other suggestions on how we might go about getting to what Councilor Gregor wants to achieve here. But I really do think too that we need to ask the legal opinion if it can happen, because I'm concerned only from the standpoint, and I share the councilor's frustration. A lot of times we've done these tax agreements and then found out later on that they can be transferred over to somebody else, and wasn't aware of it at some point. So we've had discussions to make sure that certain ones weren't transferable. This one happened at a time frame that's gone back, as he stated, a couple of years now, that probably was transferable and doesn't take place until they actually stick shovels in the ground. So I'm only concerned of the standpoint of what these tax treaties accomplish for other developers that come into the city here. Aurora, I won't say, I think it's
Lee.
Aurora Lee, and some other people that want to come in and develop. I don't want to discourage those people not to come in and do that. So I still want to accomplish what he wants to accomplish, but I'd rather seek an opinion from Councilor Milos to determine whether or not we can accomplish that.
So I'll just.
I just want to respond. No, I appreciate that. We should get an opinion from Attorney Miles, and that's fine. However, my concern here is that I'm not trying to discourage companies from coming here to invest, because I think, whatever the city can do to help, such as in the tax stabilization agreement, that's fine for the appropriate developer, not this type of developer. I think we'll be setting a terrible precedent to say that someone who's done everything that this company has done for 3 years is going to get rewarded with a 20-year tax stabilization that's on top of that transferable. That's a terrible thing to do. The last person who was here developing only received a 15-year tax stabilization agreement. They're moving ahead. That's the type of development that I like to see the city support, not this type of issue. So, I think so at this point we get some advice from the solicitor. But my thing is also the council approved that tax stabilization agreement via a resolution. So I'm not sure why a resolution rescinding that agreement would not be appropriate. However, we'll find that out from Frank Miles when he gets back to us. I don't have an issue with continuing the resolution until the 9th. I think we'll get the report, the latest quarterly report. We'll have sufficient time so we can address that, and hopefully get something from Frank Miles as well.
So are you withdrawing your motion to draft a resolution?
No, I'm not. We're continuing it. We're gonna get.
Well, no, you made a motion. We're gonna have to vote on the motion. So
Well, no, the motion was to have a motion drafted rescinding.
Right, but we still have to vote to have it drafted.
Okay.
And so is it further, we have now got a motion and a second. Councilor Rujo, discussion.
I think the best way to do this is, instead of voting on that motion, revise the motion to send a letter to our solicitor asking him, is this an appropriate way? Can we do this legally? And then you have your answer by the 9th with the report as well. I think that might be the way to go, because I don't think we want to set a precedent of drafting something that we might not be able to legally do. So if we ask, maybe ask for, send a communication to Councilor Milos, ask him if this is something we can do, and we'll get our answer on the 9th, and we'll also have the report that everybody's going to see before the 9th. That'll be on the agenda, and that might be the most legal, pragmatic way to do it. Just my 2 cents on that.
So on that motion that's been seconded, I will just say this. I share the concern that doing something like this can also have unintended consequences down the road, as Councilor Wildenhain said. So on this motion, I will be voting no if it gets to a vote. I'm 1 of 9. So I'm just saying that I think what Councilor Rujo has put forward is, which would be that if we vote on this and it goes, then it goes. If we vote on it and it's voted down, a motion to send a correspondence to the solicitor asking for a legal opinion on if the council were so inclined to withdraw or rescind that tax stabilization, how, number one, would we go about it, and what are the ramifications? So I would be more in favor of that. But if again, this is your motion, you have seconded it, Council. Did you want to speak again?
Well, yes, because my question it was just, is it legal? And so I just want to make sure that first it's
So you
legal.
seconded it for the purpose of discussion.
Correct.
Gotcha.
But I want to make sure that it's legal before we move forward.
Okay, so it is your motion. It has a second. We can vote on it if you wish, or you could switch gears, withdraw it and do something different. I'm not suggesting any way is better. I'm just giving you options.
I'm gonna modify it more in line with what's been suggested, including Councilor Ruggio. So the motion would be to send a communication to the city solicitor asking for specific advice relative to that specific tax stabilization agreement in favor of Blackstone Distribution, JK Equities, on exactly how can the council rescind it and get his advice regarding that, and also get the latest quarterly report, and then we can revisit this matter on the 9th.
Okay.
We have them come in
And that,
for-
that has also been seconded by you, right? So allow me to try to state the motion and correct me if I'm wrong. So you're withdrawing the original motion, you're amending your original motion to be, the clerk would send a correspondence to the solicitor's office asking the solicitor for an opinion as to if the council were so inclined to rescind that specific tax treaty, not any particular tax treaty, that specific tax treaty for J&K Equities. How would we go about doing so? So far, so good, right? And moreover, to have the clerk's office send the most recent quarterly report tomorrow to each of us by email so that we have it a couple days earlier, right? And did you wish to, in advance now, request their attendance in person the first meeting of August? Just my suggestion. It's not part of your motion, but if you wanted to do it, we would do it all in one.
Yeah, that's good. And August, which meeting in August?
The second meeting is a noontime meeting as well, so it'll be the first meeting of August. I can tell you what date that will be. Give me a sec.
6th.
August 6th, 8/6.
Okay.
Mr. Wildenhain told us that.
And also, so the other thing I'd like to add to that motion is that the planning department and or zoning department give us a report as to what latest permits have been authorized or issued on behalf of Blackstone Distribution, JK Equities, or whoever the assignees is, because they've just been mortgaged with a UCC filing.
That's, I presume, a friendly amendment. Councilor Rubio, are you good with that?
I'll second.
So you already seconded that.
Oh, yeah,
amendment.
yeah, I'm
You're-
good with the
You
amendment.
consider it a friendly amendment, you're good.
Sure. we're
You
good.
have that all down, Rick. And it,
I thought I had to second again.
I got
Yeah.
the first part. Letter Milo, if council wants to rescind the TSA for JK Equities, well, legal opinion and how would it be done and what are the ramifications? And then you want copies.
copies of the most
Second
recent
quarter
JK
report.
quarterly report sent to us directly tomorrow
Tomorrow.
and placed on the agenda, but not wait till the packet is done. And notify JK Equities that we would appreciate their attendance at the August 6th meeting to give a in-person update on the status of the project. And by that date, have planning give us updates on permits and other things that have been issued to the project. Yes?
Yeah, but well, any permits that have been issued, the latest permits, so starting June 1st, from June 1st on forwards, so.
Okay.
So if there's any permits that have been issued
And since we're,
currently, then I would like copies of them.
and since we're gonna want those by August 6th, why don't we ask for any permit that has been issued from June 1 through August 1. And that will give them a few days to get them to us, a few days to digest them and be ready to move forward on the 6th of August. Are you comfortable with
Well,
that
yes.
as articulated?
Except if there are any recent permits that have been approved or issued, I would like the council to receive them before the 9th, so we can look at that along with.
Right,
the,
we
report.
would get them in our packet if,
Yeah.
so on the 9th, I'm assuming it's like August 2nd or so, we would get our packets. Right?
No.
He's saying he wants for the next.
He wants to know
Yeah.
what we have up in the, by July,
July 9th.
July 9th, he wants all the permits that's been issued thus far, and then by the time they come in on August 6th, we
Is
can
it
have
done?
anything from that point
Okay,
forward.
so anything issued up to June, up till they give to us for the next meeting.
Yeah.
Right? And then in advance of the August 6th meeting to get us anything from then until then. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so do you have that? I think we can
So you
massage it
want-
for you.
It's on video.
You want permits since June 1st up until they send me the report for July 9th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then.
And then-
About date forward to the August 6th.
To the August 6th meeting, just like that one.
Okay,
Any permit issued
got it.
from day one to June till next week. Okay,
From day one,
What's day one?
for the project. Is that what you're looking for?
he wanted them from June
No.
1st.
I
No,
want the most recent permits that have been.
Yeah, any
Last-
permits issued since June 1st,
Yeah.
you want those for the meeting
Yeah,
on
last
July
quarter,
9th.
so that would be what is that?
May I just make a suggestion? We got a April 8th, right?
The zoning
So-
inspector's here, why don't you ask? him?
Yeah, but no, but it was April 8th, so why don't we from April 8th till current,
Yes.
what we get?
he left.
Thank
No,
you.
he's here, but he's hiding.
He left. Leave him alone.
Oh, he's smart.
All right, actually, let's break this into two different motions, okay? We'll talk about what reporting requirement we want afterwards,
Okay.
okay? So, and we will do it that way. So the motion on the floor by Counselor Gregor, seconded by Counselor Rubio, is that we call JK Equities in for the first meeting of August and August 6th to give us a live in-person update. We get by email tomorrow, the most recent one filed with us. And we send the letter that you already indicated you're
Correct.
comfortable with to the solicitor with those questions and the request for a legal opinion. That's one motion. Are you comfortable with that, Counselor
I
Gregg?
am, thank
You
you.
comfortable with that, Counselor Rubio? Any further discussion on that one motion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Now, there's a second motion on the floor, again by Counselor Gregor, second by Counselor Rubio, that we send a communication to the planning department requesting them to provide us with, you tell me, Counselor, because I'm a little lost.
Any certificates, licenses, approvals have been done from April 1st,
Eight.
April 8th.
Yeah, that's the last report.
Okay, so from April 8th till the July 9th, the July 9th.
Prepare for that meeting.
Yeah,
The packet from, that will be
Yeah.
put together next,
Yes.
till July 9th,
July 3rd then.
Up to filing, yeah, up to file,
up to the
up
filing.
to when we have to file agenda.
And then any other
Subsequent.
subsequent certificates, licenses, permits, or anything like that that's been approved from that point forward.
And that would be given to us by the August meeting.
Yes.
Correct. Okay.
There you go.
So do you have that, Rick? Any permits and other certificates and documents issued from April 1st through July 3rd, next Thursday, when you put the docket together? And then subsequent to that, anything from that point forward till the date you put the docket together for the August 6th meeting, which would probably be August 1st, I would assume.
Like that, yeah.
Okay,
So not day one.
No,
August
No,
1.
I'm joking, because when you said day one, his face was like,
So that-
We're going with April 1st or April 8th?
April 8th.
April 8th, go April 8th. That was the
April,
last-
April 8th
Last update.
through next Thursday.
Right.
And then next Thursday through the Thursday when you put the docket together on
Clean of that.
for August.
Got it.
Okay? That is the motion on the floor. Correct, Counselor Gregor?
yes. thank you.
Any discussion on that motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You didn't vote either
I
way.
just want to say thanks everybody for
Didn't vote either
indulging.
way.
It's a little complicated and, but.
No, we got that.
We got, we got that. The way it put.
I was about to rescind my,
Yeah.
The corn maze works.
you got me this close.
Item.
All right. So, you're comfortable with what we've done, yes? All
I
right.
am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 3, I believe.
Oh, we go to something easy. Item 3 is a communication from His Honor Mayor Donald Agrebian to the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council, submitting the following appointment as a member of the Juvenile Hearing Board for confirmation. Kinnan Dowie, 1112 Roosevelt Avenue in Pawtucket. Term expires first Monday in December of 2027 to fill the unexpired term of Kevin Whalen. Motion to approve on a roll call vote.
It's been moved by Councilor Ruja, second by Councilor Codier, that a communication from His Honor Mayor Donald Agrebian to the honorable members of Pawtucket City Council submitting the following appointment as a member of the Juvenile Hearing Board. Kinnan Dowie, 1112 Roosevelt Avenue, for a term that expires the first Monday in December of 2027. This is to fill the unexpired term of Kevin Whalen. The motion is for confirmation on a roll call vote. Is there any discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Councilor Ruzo.
Yes.
Councilor Codere.
Yes.
Councilor Gregor.
Yes.
Councilor Moran.
Yes.
Councilor Moreno. Yes. Councilor Rubio.
Yes.
Councilor Scoviac.
Yes.
Councilor Wilderness.
Yes.
9-0.
Number 4 is a communication from His Honor Mayor Donald R. Grebian to the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council, submitting the following reappointment as a member of the Public Arts Fund Committee for confirmation. Mimo Gordon Riley, 75 Montgomery Street, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Term expires first Monday in June 2027. I call for a confirmation on a roll call vote.
Moved by Councilor Stacoviak, second by Councilor Moreno, that a communication from His Honor Mayor Donald R. Grebian to the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council submitting the following reappointment as a member of the Public Arts Fund Committee. Mimo Gordon Riley, 75 Montgomery Street, for a term that expires the first Monday in June of 2027. The motion is for confirmation on a roll call vote. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Councilor Ruzo.
Yes.
Councilor Codere.
Yes.
Councilor Gregor.
Yes.
Councilor Moran.
Yes.
Councilor Moreno. Councilor Rubio.
Yes.
Councilor Scoviac.
Yes.
Councilor Wilderness.
Yes.
9-0.
Item number 5 is a communication from Jason Pizzulo, Commerce Director, and Mark Goodrow, CD Program Director, to the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council, supporting materials for the 2025-2026 Annual Action Plan for the use of funding from the CDBG Home and ESG programs, the activity applications, the home applications, and the public service applications. Motion is to up discussion or file communication. My motion is to file a communication.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Russo, second by Councilor Wildenhain, that a communication from Jason Pizzulo, the Commerce Director, and Mark Goodrow, the CD Program Manager, to the honorable members of Pawtucket City Council regarding supporting materials for the 2025-2026 Annual Action Plan for the use of funding from CDBG Home and ESG programs for the activity applications, the home applications, and the public service applications. The motion is to file a communication. Any discussion on filing? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 6 is a resolution authorizing the filing of the application for funds under the 2025-2026 Community Development Block Grant Program. I make a motion for approval on a roll call vote.
So moved by Councilor Ruza, seconded by Councilor Stacoviak, that a resolution authorizing the filing of an application for funds under the 2025-2026 Community Development Block Grant Program be approved on a roll call vote. Is there any discussion? Jason, do you want to come up or are we good? I don't disagree with you. I just,
It's the whole team.
you stayed around for a while.
Not him, just the whole team too.
Yes, the whole
team. Thank you.
The
If you all want to come up, but
Jason, that's just not right.
okay.
You come up and let me leave.
You're so far back there, you gotta get up here.
Little
If we could
intro.
get a summary.
Yeah, just a quick summary if you feel it's appropriate.
Worth your trip to.
I wasn't here for this item, but Mark was here, who's our CDBG coordinator, so he can answer any and all questions you folks have
Gotcha.
on the CDBG program. So I'll turn it over to Mark if you have questions.
Okay, Mark, I don't have any particular questions. I don't know if the counselors do, but if you just want to give us a 10,000-foot view on what we intend to do with the CDBG money and the other grants.
Absolutely. So thank you for entertaining this evening, counselors. This is federal block grant money, which the city's an entitlement city and kind of gives a leg up to the most needy in the city. By far the most complicated, we're limited to 20% of our CDBG grant for public services, but this is money that serves students in the city, folks in need, different programs, serves the not-for-profit population. The ESG block grant is a sadly small amount of money, about $150,000, which serves the most desperate in the city, which is our homeless population. And then the home grant, we get about $550,000, and that is for the development of affordable housing. So I work very hard with my team to maximize the impact of this money, which will never be enough money, for these grants. But my job is to kind of balance all the needs and the different populations and maximize the impact for the city. So if you have any questions about the allocations that I've put together, I'll certainly entertain it.
Okay, anyone? Councilor Stacoviak.
So is it less, in general, just because of everything happening economically, it's general less money we've seen this year?
Excellent question. And I was very surprised to see that our grants came in very similar to the prior year, which was an increase from the prior year. So this is formula driven. So the HUD is measuring the need in the community versus the need in all other communities and population, et cetera. I don't know the formula, but it is a formula driven grant.
And fortunately, appears to be business as usual in DC, at least on this level.
They make me nervous every day.
You and me both.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we are good, and I appreciate most the effort to maximize. We really appreciate the work from you and your team. So
Thank you.
Thank you,
So
councilors.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so the motion is still for a confirmation on a roll call vote.
sir.
Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Council Ruzo.
Yes.
Council Codere.
Yes.
Council Gregor.
Yes.
Council Moran.
Yes.
Council Moreno. Yes. Council Rubio.
Yes.
Council Kubiak.
Yes.
Council Wildenhain.
Yes.
9-0.
Item number 7 is a resolution of the city of Pawtucket being a Vision Zero Safe Streets for all policy. I move for approval on a roll call vote.
Moved by Councilor Moreno, second by Councilor Wildenhain, Councilor Stacoviak, that a resolution of the city of Pawtucket adopting a Vision Zero safe streets for all policy be approved on a roll call vote. Is there any discussion on the approval of the resolution? Councilor.
Now you can come up, Director. I saw this and went through it briefly because everybody knows I like to read. And trust me. I was wondering, what is the actual intent to this? And believe me, when somebody says zero, Vision Zero, they think that there's going to be no accidents or anything else. So some people will incorporate into putting more cameras out there to kind of delay accidents. But my most pressing question, I guess, is will this make funds available? Because I know I've worked with the police in the past. We have some of the speed signs up. They cost maybe $2,500 a piece, between $2,500 and $3,000. So would this type of policy be going out and looking for grants or doing something of that nature to turn around and
The
make people
short,
aware?
the short answer is yes, theoretically. So as this plan is not a binding document, it's aspirational in all senses. It has an action plan and a number of policies that you've seen in here. And yes, once this plan has been adopted by resolution by the city council, it opens us up to being able to apply for any number of federal grants, state grants, to be able to grab those funds. So that's why we're here tonight. There's a federal grant we're trying to work on. This needs to be in place so that we can submit that application. And yeah, that's just one of a number of grants would be eligible for once this is in place. And the way I see this moving forward is that there's a lot of good information in here, and you know there's a lot of deaths and there's a lot of accidents in the city, and it's kind of startling when you really start getting into the numbers. This is going to get incorporated into the comprehensive plan as well, and there'll be more policy and action items through that process. So we're definitely going to be revisiting this on a more granular level beyond this document.
Okay. The one point that I made too, and I know I've worked with the Chief Gonzalez and Lieutenant Gallison to try and get as many of those road signs, because they do tend to slow people down. They're making people aware of what they're doing on our streets. As much as people complain about the cameras, I think sometimes that derives them to go onto the side streets and do 40 miles an hour rather than doing 20, where they're going to get caught and a camera is going to catch and get us some revenue. So I would like to see the aspect of this, like I said, for us to seek getting more additional units like that, so that we can educate drivers that come to the city of Pawtucket, even our own residents sometimes, what their foot on the pedal is actually means
Sure.
to the people that are in the community. And I think it would be a benefit, again, knowing that we've only got about 10 or 15 units, if we could get more and just turn around and I think I've said this with the deputy director, sometimes it's more important to continue to educate. And I believe that is one, what me and council president have gone at it in the past. That's great. I can see I'm doing 35, but doesn't mean I'm going to slow down.
Right.
But I think for me, I've seen it where it does educate a lot of people and they actually do take their foot off the gas. So I think it's beneficial, and anything that we can do to get more units like that, I think will be a service to the citizens of
Well, we
Pawtucket.
will definitely be monitoring for those grant rounds, and this will definitely help us be more competitive. If this wasn't in place, we would lose points in those type of grant applications. So this is important to have in place.
Thank you, Director.
Councilor Gregor.
I just had just to follow up to that. I know some people would think that this is some sort of money grab. This is not going to result in increased cameras for speeding and all of that at that intersections, is it?
Well, I don't think that that's the intention of this plan. This plan opens us up for being able to be competitive for different rounds of grant funding. Any kinds of policy decisions like that, yes, has to go through the administration and the council. So I don't believe that was the intent of this plan.
No, I understand. It's pretty comprehensive. I looked at it, briefly, and it seems like it does a lot more than that. Just want to make sure that's not going to be one of the focuses. So that's my concern.
No, it's not. It's not the focus of the plan.
Yeah. And the priority corridors and intersections have been selected here. Are these going to be looked at again, or is this?
Oh yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. These were flagged by, public works, police department for, the hot spots where we've had the worst incidences. And those are those you prioritize for action for, any number of, mitigation steps. So any kind of future actions will be a collaborative process with those public safety officials, and I'm sure the council and the administration to see what's best. Money, there's a number of policy prescriptions in here, and it's going to be up to us to determine which ones we want to take moving forward.
Now, it would be nice if the council could receive the final proposition once it's solidified in terms of the priority areas and so?
This is the plan. So this is the plan. The next time we're going to address this is going to be probably through the comprehensive plan when we're looking at the circulation element. A lot of this data is going to be in that document, and it's going to be up for public discussion at that time. But we're not, there's not another action beyond this right now before we get into that comprehensive plan rewrite.
First, you want to get the federal money. Right.
Well, if we get, we're asking for grants, right? So if we get some grants, that's great, but we can ask for multiple grants through this document.
Thank you.
Councilor Rujo.
So this is basically a 10-year plan, right? Basically, if I'm reading it right, you got a short-term plan, certain things, certain aspects over the 3 years, medium term, and then long term. So this is a 10-year plan for that aspirational zero
Right.
zero issue, zero fatalities.
We want to see reduction,
Yes,
and we'd
exactly.
love to see zero.
Right.
I don't think any of us could stand here and say we advocate 20 or 15. Like
We advocate
zero is the
Yes.
is the goal.
So it's a 10-year, it basically is a 10-year action plan.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Just one thing. I stopped home today from work before I came here, and somebody flagged me down on First Street. They were visiting somebody else on First Street and said, "Mr. Mercer, I have a question for you." So I said, "Yes." And she said, "Are the speed cameras operational now that school's not in?" And I said, "Well, no, when school's not in, they're not operational. Same thing in February vacation." I said, "It doesn't mean you can go screaming down Newport Avenue." She said, I know, but so that's what we're looking at.
I don't trust anything. I will slow down around those cameras.
I should have told her,
Yeah.
no, they're 24/7, but
I wouldn't just
couldn't lie to her.
I would still
Told me
I would
this-
still think those cameras are on. That's me personally driving through the city. So
All right. Well,
any other
thank
questions on
you
this?
thank you
All
for
right.
your help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you,
hopefully we
Director.
get lucky with these grant rounds. So all right. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Once
Welcome.
again.
Thank you.
Ridiculous.
Okay, I'm sorry, all in favor, roll call vote for approval.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Council Ruzo.
Yes.
Council Codere.
Yes.
Council Gregor.
Yes.
Council Moran.
Yes.
Council Moreno.
Yes.
Council Rubio.
Yes.
Council Scoviac.
Yes.
Council Wildenhain.
Yes.
9-0.
Number 8, the Finance Committee returns the following ordinance. An ordinance and amendment of Chapter 108, 112, 193, 251, 260, and 302 of the Code of Ordinances, City of Pawtucket regarding various licensing fees. I call for approval on a roll call vote for first pass.
Second.
Moved by Council Wildenhain, second by Council Rubio and Council Moran, that the Finance Committee returns the following ordinance. An ordinance and amendment of chapters 108, 112, 193, 251, 260, and 302 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket 1996 regarding various license fees. This would be an ordinance first passage on a roll call vote. Is there any discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Council Ruzo.
Yes.
Council Codere.
Yes.
Council Gregor.
Yes.
Council Moran.
Yes.
Council Moreno. Council Rubio.
Yes.
Council Scoviac.
Yes.
Council Wildenhain.
Yes.
9-0.
Number 9, the Finance Committee returns the following ordinance. An ordinance and amendment of Chapter 202 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket entitled Fees, various fees charged by zoning and code enforcement in the planning departments. I call for approval for first passage on a roll call vote.
Been moved by Councilor Wildenhain, seconded by Councilor Moran and Councilor Rubio, that the Finance Committee returns the following ordinance and amendment of Chapter 202 of the Code of Ordinances, City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled Fees, regarding various fees charged by the zoning and code enforcement and planning departments. This is a motion for approval on a first passage on a roll call vote. Any discussion? Clerk will call a roll.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Council Ruzo.
Yes.
Council Codere.
Yes.
Council Gregor.
Yes.
Council Moran.
Yes.
Council Moreno. Council Rubio.
Yes.
Council Scoviac.
Yes.
Council Wildenhain.
Yes.
9-0.
No further business coming before the Pawtucket City Council. I make a motion that we adjourn.
Moved by Council Rujo, second by Councilor Gregor, that we adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.